Hello, cool collectors. This is Collecting Cool, Kewl, for the cool part. Today's topic are the 10 Canadian coin sets, that every U.S. collector should have. Again, not financial advice, just this is how I collect. And I am making the mistake of sharing so that I won't be able to afford what I like to collect. Anywho, thought I would use as a background the coins that I won't be really talking about today, because except for I'm not going to cover the 2017s. Excuse me, 2017 toonie and quarter. That'll be a different video. And we're not going to be talking about Canadian silver, which is, I think, its own separate area. These are the ones that I'm going to probably be taking these out of theirs because the playa film has a shelf life, and I think we're getting there. So I want to get these out before I want to share the Rock Dove penny before I don't talk about it. So Canada, coin-wise, is a weird country because through their history, and I mean that in the best way, in the highest of respect, because first of all, they have color in their coins, and they're doing awesome things. Although, not everybody likes the mint, yada yada yada. There's always going to be somebody to complain. But for the U.S. collector that can't really coin roll hunt Canadian coins on a normal basis, we don't have access. For the most part, our banks don't carry Canadian coinage. However, so starting, again, we go over the population. The U.S. has 260 plus million people. Canada has 40 million. So when you look at the numbers as a fraction or a percentage of population, a lot of these are insanely rare. And hilarious enough, they're still somewhat attainable. Coin sets just in general are getting more expensive, but not every coin set has gone through the roof or become unobtainable. And so no rarity, or excuse me, there will be rarities, but no error coins, no weird stuff. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to retire off of this. This is for collectors who enjoy having things. And I like to have uncirculated coins, and the only way to really guarantee that is to buy the sets. Buying the sets also kind of protects you a little bit against counterfeits, which is a major problem, especially with the toonies in Canada, which just amazes me that it seems like the banks should be held accountable and forced to come up with some kind of way to guarantee that they're handing back and out guaranteed product. So anyways, the first set is going to be 1970. And that set has a rare coin at the Canadian nickel. 1970 is the key date for nickels. And then a semi-key date for the quarter that's at about 10 million. Also, the cool thing in this set has a Manitoba nickel dollar. These are not silver at this point because they got rid of all the silver in their coinage, all of it by 68 or after 68. So this being 1970, the dollars are now smaller than the silver dollars were because Canada produced the silver dollar for many, many years after the U.S. got stopped making silver dollars. So I guess I am going to talk a little bit about silver. But so the 70 set, and I've picked these up in lots. I've picked them up for really decent price. They're not, I've picked them up for as low as $4 or $5, quite honestly. So great set to have just for that nickel. Also, I had a lot of, I think 1,700 nickels, and there was literally a couple hundred 1970s that somebody had dumped. I think had dumped 4 or 5 rolls into that lot. It was a true estate lot. They didn't. Anyways, that'll be a separate video. So the next set being the 1991. Everybody in Canada will know why. This has the lowest circulating, and here's the issue: is that when we give mintage figures, we are talking about circulating coins, which I sometimes do include the sets and sometimes don't include the sets. But the easiest way to obtain the 1991 quarter is in the proof-like set. Now, there will be argument on whether this is worth as much as the uncirculating coin. It's better quality because they usually hit these twice. These are called bunk or brilliant uncirculated or proof-like. Bunk might be more of a term for UK coins, but so being in the US, I don't see the difference, and I just think it's a 1991 quarter, and that's what it is. So I'm not going to split hairs, and since I have really no way except for buying a 1991 quarter by itself that somebody says is it's just kind of ridiculous. So the next set will be 1992. And the thing about this set is I believe this was the 125th anniversary for Canada's Federation. So this is a dual dated year that has, probably should show the right side, has a dual date for 1867 to 1992. But however, the one thing about this year is Canada that year produced 12 commemorative quarters. And I believe that for each territory, these are territory quarters. This is an aftermarket set. It flips out. But there's a 13th quarter. And that 13th quarter is the definitive caribou quarter. And this 1992 quarter is more rare than the 1991 quarter. However, I think fewer people know about it because it's NIFC and it never circulated, except for if somebody broke it out of this set, which I have broken some out. So again, a sleeper at super. It is legitimately rare in the scheme of things. The next set would be 1998. They came out with a W mint mark set. Yes, Canada has two major mints in that Ottawa and then Winnipeg, who this year is celebrating their 50th anniversary because they're putting out a set this year that it has a W mint mark on them. So every coin in this set for 1998 is unique to this set. And they only put out, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood. I know it's less than 200,000. I want to say it's somewhere in the 180s. But we're talking thousands, hundreds of thousands, not millions. And this quarter only exists in this set. And quite honestly, every one of these coins is. And the W mint mark is very small on these. It's on this one. Try to get in the light here. It has a little W on every one of these coins. Now, these are before they came in with plated steel, and that will be talked about later. But again, this set is a little more expensive because I think more people know about it. And that brings us to 1999, where they did it again. They came out with another dozen quarters. And these are one for each month. So there are 12 commemorative quarters, one for each month. But again, there's a 13th quarter. Now, this year gets a little tricky for 1999 because we're going to talk about two different sets here. First, also Nunavut came into existence, which was a new territory, and they produced a set with a 1-year coin for the territory of Nunavut, or province, or however you want to call it, showing the Inuit drummer. Slap me around if I'm saying this wrong. I'm just dumb American. So this is again an awesome set. Also, they did not produce the loonies for like 5 years. So the loonies only exist in these two sets I'm going to show you. We're not really talking about the toonie in this set, but we are also talking about the quarter, which only appears in was the caribou quarter. The 13th quarter, as I'm calling it, only exists in these sets. And that's this Nunavut set and then the polar bear set. And I think this set, which is actually super cheap, I mean, I've got at least 10 of them. Oh, I skipped a year, by the way. I skipped a year. Anyways, I do have 10, that is 10 sets, but there was an 11th in there, because I don't know who's counting. So anyways, this being the polar bear set, now this set has to have the polar bear on it. And this set has the, not the Nunavut polar bear, which is at 25 million. This has the definitive, not polar bear, Nunavut toonie. This has the polar bear toonie, which is only put out in this set because they put the other toonie out into circulation. Again, they did not circulate any loonies that year, any $1 coins. And again, this is a 13th quarter. It exists in both this set and the other. So the quarter is, I think, sub 300,000. The loonie is also same number because it exists in both sets, but in the polar bear set, so the polar bear toonie is rarer than both of those, if that makes any sense at all. Whew, it's tiring doing this stuff. Okay, so, but 99 wasn't good enough. I'll do that as a bonus set at the end. They did it again in 2000. In 2000, they did another 12 quarters. This for Millennium quarters, celebrating different actual, positive ideals, pride, ingenuity, achievements, health for each. And these ones are obviously not super uncirculated. I got this in a lot, so I did not pick these up. But so what happened is you have the 12 quarters, and here comes the 13th quarter. Now you would think that I would be talking about the knowledge toonie or $2 coin, which is cool because it is deviated. It is it looks like the polar bear coin, but now it's mom with cubs. But they did not put out a loonie that year as well. So again, super low mintage. And because they had the other 12 quarters, they did not put out the definitive caribou quarter for circulation that year either. So this set, which again is not really, I'll have to check because I only have a couple of these, depending on how many I've broken out of the sets. But definitely worth picking up, and does have NIFCs in it. Now we come to the 2000 again. Again, not only because they didn't produce a loonie that year, but because this has not only a 13th quarter that is the definitive caribou, but this is also a W set. So this is for 2000 W, and each one of these has a W for the Winnipeg Mint on it, somewhere on the front of the coin by the Queen's neck. There on the toonie, you can kind of see. I thought the lighting would be better up closer to the camera, but obviously not. So again, there are two coins. Now we're not talking about the 50-cent piece because they're not collected as widely as the other coins are. But so for and this has the polar bear loonie, or excuse me, polar bear toonie, and it being unique as well because it has the W. Again, this set I don't think is as expensive as the 98, but it's definitely worth having. Whew, gonna need a nap after this. So the last set for the loonie that they did not produce, this one now has the quarter is they've gotten through all of the commemorative quarters for the dozen. So now this quarter is not necessarily rare, but the loonie, this is the last year they did not produce out of the 5 years. The loonie definitive design is NIFC and pretty rare. I would say officially it would be classified as a rare coin. Technically in coinage, anything under 5 million coins is a rare coin. 10 million is scarce. So we're going to go with that. The last set that I was normal set, the 10th set, is now the special edition. Now you have to make sure this is the special edition because again this is another W set. But this also has plated steel coins in it, so some of these coins have a WP mint mark on them. So again, each one of these coins is unique from the regular coins, even though they have the definitive designs. And they have, now instead of, only the plated ones have the WP. So the penny has a WP, but the toonie and the loonie do not. But every other, the nickel nickel coins or the plated steel, you can kind of see up in there WP instead of just a W. Fantastic set. This one's getting expensive. Again, year sets have done nothing but gone up in price. And this year, the U.S. Mint is completely gouging us, which is another reason for us to, I'd rather go get Canadian coins than I've already done my donation this year to the U.S. Mint. So that was 10 sets. I'm going to do a bonus set because this one is kind of technically for 1997. We have the, this has to be the O Canada set. It comes with 2 different stickers. This is the main sticker, and then the other one's just kind of a sash that has 97 on it. But this, again, not hugely expensive, about a $20 set. I've picked up several for 20 bucks-ish US. But this has the loon taking flight, or some people, it's been called the flying loon. So the design is different than that, and being 97, seemed like the quarter might have been. No, I don't think the quarter is going to be super rare. But the set also has somewhat of a specimen looking finish to it, which is a little odd. But this only exists, there is, and that's weird because there is a specimen set and a proof set that this appears in. But it is a great looking quarter, and it might look familiar because, hilariously enough, and I didn't even realize this until lately, as I dump things all over the place, it is the picture of the envelope that they've been used for years. They finally put on a coin. So, great set, love it. I also love, for display purposes, that you obviously know it's a Canadian set. It goes great with my British sets that have the Union Jack on them, and that way not only can you see the coins, it tells you where they're from, and it's awesome for display. Anywho, that's all I have for now. This is, by the way, in no way a complete list of the awesome coins for Canada. We didn't really get into any of the colorized stuff, which is fantastic. These are not aftermarket colorized. These are actual circulating coins. Canada, and here's the 2017 glow in the dark, the first one. I just bought, I have the 2-roll set for the CN Tower, and Canada is just killing it on their coinage. So I hope hopefully this was helpful. And if this gets more than 10 views, maybe I'll put out more videos. Have a great one. Bye.